Bookworms, welcome to the Weekend Readers Book Club. Thank you for joining us. In this episode, we start the Hannibal Lecter trilogy, and we are discussing the first book in the series, which is Red Dragon. Now, the story of Red Dragon is really simple. They're trying to catch the Tooth Fairy killer, or Tooth Fairy killer turns into the Red Dragon or the Dragon Killer, and the police need the help from Hannibal Lecter to help solve the case. Now, Hannibal Lecter is actually sitting in a mental facility, so he's already been arrested, and the story follows the case of trying to capture the Red Dragon. So I've finished Red Dragon, book 1 of the Hannibal Lecter trilogy, and this is my thoughts of the story Thomas Harris wrote for us. Off the bat, I'm probably going to say this over the next 3 episodes. I've never watched any Hannibal Lecter movies, nor have I read any Hannibal Lecter literature or novels before, so this is all brand new to me. I've gone in this with eyes wide open, with no understanding of the lore. I know the iconic scene where he's like, "Hello, Clarice." I know that, but to actually sit down and invest time in the full movies, I've never actually done. So this is eye-opening to me. So, I've read Red Dragon, and I'm going to say off the bat, for a Hannibal Lecter book, I sort of wanted more Hannibal Lecter in it. The main guy in the story isn't Hannibal Lecter, which threw me off a bit. However, as I got more and more into the story, I was sort of invested in the Tooth Fairy or the Red Dragon, and I really enjoyed his storyline. I love the support cast in the story as well, especially when the Red Dragon meets a certain blind lady, and I'm like, the chemistry that sort of got lifted from the novel that I was interpreting between the Red Dragon and the blind lady, I was really enjoying. Overall, the story itself in relation to the ups and downs of how everybody interacted to try and chase down the Tooth Fairy or the Red Dragon, I was well invested in. This book held my attention throughout, and I'm going to say off the bat, that ending, oh my god, I thought the book was ending, and I was like, oh, well, this is a crap ending. However, plot twist, Thomas Harris drops us with, nah, it hasn't ended, we gotta carry on the story, and holy crap, what we got was bonkers. What we got at the very end for the end of the story was like, oh, I did not see that coming, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Overall, after reading the book, I am interested in actually watching the movie to see how the movie translates to the book, because the book was very enjoyable. However, what I might do is I might get through all the Hannibal Lecter trilogy, get that completed, and then go back and rewatch, or like, not rewatch, but watch the movies in order. So Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal. It was really, really fun read. It, as I said, it held my attention. There was a little bit ups and downs, but the main villain in the book, I absolutely loved. The cop chasing and trying to get the actual killer, I enjoyed. I wanted more Hannibal Lecter. I'm unsure, like, I get the interactions with Hannibal Lecter in the book in relation to the police and in relation to Red Dragon having interactions with Hannibal Lecter. I get that, but I was taken aback because there wasn't a lot of Hannibal Lecter in this book, which was surprising off the bat, but still, I guess it's a precursor for what's to come, so I'm sort of excited to see where we go in the next 2 stories. But yeah. So at this time, I am unable to tell you whether or not this book is going to be going onto my bookshelf. solely because the book that I own is an omnibus that covers all three stories, Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal's. However, if I was basing it solely on Red Dragon itself, I would say I don't know, because I know it's a trilogy, and I feel like we're just going to crescendo all the way through, and the books are going to get better and better and better. That's what I'm hoping for. But at this stage, I've thoroughly enjoyed Red Dragon. I don't know if it would go on my bookshelf as a separate book itself. I feel that if it is, it's solely because it's part of the trilogy. You got to read it. So we're going to hold off, and I'll tell you at the end after we read Hannibal whether or not the book is going to go onto my bookshelf. But overall, Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, it was a great read, and it was just an awesome read of cat and mouse in relation to killer, police, and then in the background, you know you've got this crazy guy sitting in a cell going, "Hello, I'm Hannibal Lecter." So yeah, I am torn in the sense that I wanted more Hannibal in this book, but I'm excited to see where the Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal takes us. So let's see what happens. So Bookworms, that was my review of the Thomas Harris novel, Red Dragon, book 1 of the Hannibal Lecter trilogy. I enjoyed it, held my attention. It was a great cat and mouse story between killer and cop. As said, one more Hannibal, but that's fine. I am pumped to read The Silence of the Lambs because I feel that The Silence of the Lambs may have more Hannibal because I know it's Hannibal and Clarice. So I'm guessing that's potentially what we're gonna get. But yeah, well, fingers crossed. So Bookworms, that was my discussion, review, and rant about Thomas Harris's novel Red Dragon, book I enjoyed. Thank you again for listening to this, and until next time, happy reading. And I can tell you that Silence of the Lambs, the next book review, is coming out next week. So look out for that. We're going back to back with these reviews. So it's going to be this week, next week, and then the week after. But yeah, thank you again for listening. Happy reading.